Treasury took $25 billion worth of common stock in Citi last year. When Citi was on the ropes, everyone was wondering whether Citi was going to survive. All the help that the government has given the banks meant that Citi did survive. Now the banks can borrow money at much lower cost than they could last year. Most of the big banks have returned to profitability. And so now the government is saying, well, we have this they have more than 7 billion Citi shares, and they're saying the market is now stable enough that we can start to sell these off. It's good for Citi. I mean, they want to get away from the thing where they're under TARP. TARP restricts the amount you can pay people. There are a lot of little things attached to TARP that obviously, if you have the ability to get out from under the government's thumb, you want to do it. So Citi has already repaid the loan that it took from the government. And then this is one more step on the way to being free of TARP. The government also has some warrants for Citi stock that it will have to sell at some point. But for the most part, Citi is out of TARP. And so Citi still has a lot of issues. They haven't turned consistently profitable the way a lot of the other big banks have. And so they still have to figure out what they really are doing. It's still kind of a dysfunctional company. It's too big. It operates in all kinds of markets, but it's not necessarily the leader in most of them. So they have a lot of work to do, but there's not really any concern now about them collapsing. I think everybody felt that Citi was the poster child for too big to fail. The worries about Citi are less acute now than they were last year, because last year it appeared that all the banks were going down until the government basically put all its force behind them and said, we're not going to let them go down. So it's more of kind of a long-term, it's kind of a chronic problem Citi has now rather than an acute problem, which is, what do we do to be a better competitor and to make money and that sort of thing.